What is up, everyone? It's David. Welcome back to Gem Mint MTG, where we talk about all things related to graded Magic: The Gathering cards. Today is Sunday, March 12th. It's a fun day for me. It's my daughter's birthday. So I got a lot going on today, but wanted to do a video and get you all up to speed on a crazy sale that just happened in the graded marketplace. Let's just get right to it. We had a Tolarian Academy from Urza's Saga BGS 9.5 condition sell for $1,000. This is a record-setting sale. I've never seen a Tolarian Academy sell for this much, and I thought it was absolutely awesome and wanted to share the news with you all for anyone who doesn't keep track of prices. You might have not seen that sale. So that's it. I'll put a picture of the card on the screen. I want to talk about what I think it means for the market, what I think about it means for the Silver Age, and just kind of overall, what does this mean for Magic: The Gathering? Is there any significance to a sale like this? And personally, yeah, I do believe that this bodes very well for Magic: The Gathering, kind of as a whole. I think it's a good bellwether for the vintage reserve lists graded marketplace. Tolarian Academy is one of the most popular, influential cards of all time, in my opinion. A very controversial card. It's in a time like this when sales are, really, really lackluster. There's a lot of negative sentiment in the market. There's, a lot of, I've heard from a number of people that they feel like the number of market participants is decreasing. There's lower demand. These, cards are, having trouble finding a bottom. And to be honest with you, I feel like the graded market has been shielded from a lot of that stuff, and that's great for those of us who are into graded collecting. We really haven't seen as much of a fall. I went back and looked at sales of Tolarian Academy because I've been doing this for a couple of years now, keeping detailed track, and we've had sales of Tolarian Academy in like the $500-600 range. I think I remember one going for over 700, but this was the first time I ever saw one going for $1,000. That's a lot of money, and I think that it signals that there is strength in the market, that the market is finding a bottom. But I think what it also kind of just represents, and one of the things you can kind of see from it, is that the market is changing. I feel like there is softness in certain parts of the market. I think that, really, really exclusive niche stuff, like, if you're like a Portal 3 Kingdoms collector, or you only collect alpha cards or something like that, when you're in like a really niche market like that, I think that the sways can be a lot more pronounced, and you can kind of, just as fast as the market can swing up, the market can swing down, and vice versa. And I feel like some of those niche markets are kind of getting hit a lot harder than other markets. And I feel like Tolarian Academy is kind of like a good representation of like that mass market, appeal. I don't know anyone in Magic who doesn't know what Tolarian Academy is, what it does. I don't know anyone who wouldn't like to have one at a good price. And when you have cards like that have such a strong, diverse demand base, I feel like the market stays a lot more stable for cards like that. And I feel like cards like that have more room to grow and are going to appreciate better over the years, and aren't going to be subject to the same kind of volatility as other cards that, literally, when you think about the people all around the world that are collecting them, there might be 50, 100, maybe 1,000 collectors. There's a lot of parts of the graded market that I don't participate in at all, and just Magic in general that I don't participate in at all, just because it's just not for me. Like that's why I've talked about Portal 3 Kingdoms. I would never invest in Portal 3 Kingdoms. Never. Like, not a dime. And it's not because I think Portal 3 Kingdoms is bad. It's just that I know how small the market for that stuff is. And all it takes is a few people exiting that market to where most of the demand is gone. And I wouldn't want to ever expose myself to that much risk. But Tolarian Academy, I mean, like I said, everybody knows Tolarian Academy. Everybody wants the Tolarian Academy, and I feel like it kind of represents that mass market appeal that some cards have. Similar to like, the Siobhan Dragons and Sarah Angels, those like iconic staple cards. If you want to put your money into Magic and you want to, invest, whatever you want to call it, but you don't want to feel that pressure of that fear that there's going to be a big market downturn. Like if that's something that concerns you, I feel like cards like this are a great place to get in, because cards like this have just such a wide array of people who are interested in them. I mean, there's a lot of people that I know who have the most crazy collections that you would ever think of Alpha, Beta, Arabian Nights, stuff in 9.5 quad, PSA 10, crazy stuff. But these people still want Gaia's Cradles. They still want Sarah's Sanctums. They still want Tolarian Academies. They still want, stuff like that. Like those cards, they're in the same bracket, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. But most people who are into collecting really high-end vintage cards are also into collecting high-end Silver Age cards, but not vice versa. And let me explain that for a second. Like, I know a lot of people who have really awesome collections with a few vintage cards. They might have a few, Legends, Arabian cards, a couple of ABU cards or something like that. But, the bulk of their collection, the bulk of the value of their collection comes from playable Silver Age iconic staples like Gaia's Cradles and Sarah's Sanctums and stuff like that. Volrath's Stronghold, cards that you can actually use and play with, and that also have a wide range of appeal for higher end collectors. So I feel like cards like Tolarian Academy kind of represent that balance of high-end Magic, but also not like completely out of the stratosphere, to where like if you want to collect high-end Alpha cards, like look at your entry point. If you want to buy a freaking common card, in a lot of cases in a good grade, you're talking hundreds of dollars. Uncommons, many hundreds of thousands, and rares, thousands. And I feel like for a lot of people, they look at that and they're like, okay, well, what would I rather have? BGS 9 Disrupting Scepter from Alpha, or would I rather have a frickin' 9.5 Gaia's Cradle? It's like, I don't know, like Disrupting Scepter is cool and Alpha's cool and all, but like, I don't know. I'd rather have the Gaia's Cradle. I'd rather have the Gaia's Cradle, and it seems kind of crazy to say that, but in reality, I mean, how many people have the money to really invest in high-end ABU cards? It's a very, very, very short list of people. But on the other hand, the list of people who are, have $500 to $1,000 to spend on the most expensive card of an era like Gaia's Cradle or Tolarian Academy or something like that, that's a much longer list of people. And also, there's a huge player base of people who are interested in cards like Gaia's Cradle, Tolarian Academy, that those really high-end vintage cards, you're really only the market is being completely supported by, investor collectors. And that to me is kind of a slippery slope that I don't like to be on. I've kind of talked about on this channel for the last 2 years now how, if you want to put your money into something safe in Magic the Gathering that still has a good future outlook, try to find something that has a demand from the player base, not just the collector base. And I feel like Tolarian Academy, Gaia's Cradle, Sarah's Sanctum, cards like that, they have that good blend of player demand and collector demand. And So let's bring it back to Tolarian Academy and start to wrap this video up. So I just thought it was cool. I wanted to just kind of give you all a little bit of positivity. I've been trying to do that more often, not just because I feel like the market needs it. Like, you need some positivity right now. Like, things are bad, not just in the Magic world, but in just kind of the world in general. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of negative pressure on financial markets. You know, we just saw a freaking Silicon Valley Bank close. Like, this is real stuff that's happening around the world and in our country, and a lot of it is negative, but there is a lot of positive stuff going on. So I thought that was, you know, one of the reasons that I wanted to talk about this, but also because it's true. Like, this sale happened. Like, you could say it's an outlier. You could say, hey, like, I was looking in January, we had a Tolarian Academy sell for $500. Now, does this one sale mean that the price of Tolarian Academy has doubled and that's the new, you know, benchmark for 9.5 Tolarian Academy is $1,000? No, I don't think so. I think there's actually a couple of them on the market still right now that aren't that high. But what it represents is that the demand is there. The cards are still moving at even higher prices. And I would be very surprised after seeing a Tolarian Academy sell for $1,000 and last month, you know, them selling for $500, $600, $700, that, you know, if there is a continued market downturn in financial markets, that Tolarian Academy is going to be a $200, $300 card and lose 40-50% of its value. That I would be very surprised by, and that's, like, you know, kind of what gives me you know, more confidence in the market overall, because there's a lot of assets that I honestly couldn't say that about. Like, when you, even if you're looking at like just the S&P 500 index, like, there's a lot of people who are, you know, basically banking on the S&P losing 20-30% of its value in the next 3 to 4 months. That's huge. That's like more or less like a market collapse. We already had one, you know, in the last 6 months, but the expectation is that that's going to happen again, and that's what you know, the financial market. Not to make this too much of like a financial markets video, but I just kind of wanted to tie that in, that, you know, the expectation is that the market is going to take another very violent downturn by anywhere from 10 to 30%. And what I'm saying is, I do not believe that the vintage graded reserve list market is under that type of pressure when it comes to staples of formats and staples among collectors that have a very diverse, wide demand. So anyway, that's all I got for you today. I saw this sale while I was putting together the market review for the last month or so. I've got that video almost done, but like, I got to this card and I was just like, man, this card deserves its own video. I want to talk about this record setting sale. So that's it for today. Stay tuned for the next market update. If you're watching me and you're not already a subscriber here, hit that subscribe button and join in the fun, 'cause we're going to be doing this kind of stuff all the time here on Gem Mint MTG. All right, till next time, thanks. Have a great one.